As promised, I wanted to provide some basic instructions on the first written assignment. Most of the work for this course is very self explanatory, but this one, due to the subject matter, is just a little bit complicated. You will be writing about something called the 1619 Project. This was a project that was published by the New York Times Magazine in 2019. The objective of the 1619 Project was to provide a kind of a lens through which to view American history. Their major contention was that to understand American history, the founding of our country, the development of it, who we are today, that you have to put slavery at the center of all of that. And that so much of the world, country that we still inhabit, uh, is shaped by the institution of slavery and its legacy through all these years. And you will have three questions to answer about the 1619 Project. So, how do you access the 1619 Project? Unfortunately, it's not as simple as just looking it up because the New York Times Magazine, they're profit based and they put up a paywall so that you cannot access it for free. But there are three options through which you can access the material. The most direct is by using this PDF, which I have attached to the assignment on Blackboard. This is how the 1619 Project actually appeared in print. And if you click on that PDF, this is a file that opens up. But because this was never meant to appear in a PDF format, it can be a little awkward. Like, for instance, here on the second page and the third page, the fourth and the fifth, there are advertisements. And then you can see in the sixth and the seventh pages, it's kind of, it's broken because it doesn't appear like it would in a magazine or a newspaper, where it'd be open like you would have any, kind of print material. Now, the 1619 Project, as you can see, is 100 pages. I don't want you, nor expect you, to read 100 pages. But what you would do is you would review one or two of the essays that these contributors here contributed to the 1619 Project. So I'll give you a couple examples. If you go to page 30, there is an essay here by a scholar named Matthew Desmond, and it is about how the institution of slavery shaped the economy of our country and still shapes our economy and is partly responsible for a lot of the wealth inequalities that our economy still has. If you don't like that, page 60, there is a article from Wesley Morris, and it is about African American art, in this case, music, and how Black artists throughout American history have been exploited and have really kind of shaped the culture of our country while never enjoying the fruits of their labor. On page 80, there is an essay about the criminal justice system by Brian Stevenson. And it's about how many of kind of the methods of mass incarceration and imprisonment that we have in this country today has its roots, you guessed it, in the control and supervision that characterized slavery. And there are other articles like that in the 1619 project. These are the things that I want you to look through and to report to me in this project, this assignment. There are two other ways. You can listen to the 1619 podcast that is available on Spotify and other platforms. Now, it's a 5-part podcast, and all 5 parts used to be free. The last time I checked, there are 2 parts that are available for free on Spotify. But those 2 parts are still enough to do the assignment if you choose to listen to it instead of reading it. I want to give you, if you are someone who kind of learns better from listening than reading, you can avail yourself of this method of accessing the 1619 project. The material is the same. It's just a different way of delivering that material. And lastly, if you have Hulu, there was a 5-part mini-series that was available. Now, obviously, if you don't have Hulu, that's not an option that is available for you. But if you do, there is that method as well. Once you explore some of that material, the 3 questions are pretty direct. The first is asking you what the central argument of the 1619 project is. The second is asking you to provide 2 specific examples of how slavery has affected the continued development of the United States. So those essays I just highlighted for you, those are 2 examples that you could speak on. Now, I want your discussion to be, thorough and specific. So, it can't be just 1 or 2 sentences. You really have to kind of provide some knowledge that you actually, consider the material and understand it. And the third question is, the 1619 project has received considerable blowback. And it's been from Republican politicians who contest the entire narrative of the 1619 project. And I want you to highlight the criticisms that at least 2 of these individuals have made about the 1619 project. Now, for that question, you will have to do some very light research on your own, but just put 1619 project criticism into a search engine and you're going to get dozens of responses. So just report on some of the criticisms that have been made and give me the source, the academically appropriate source that you used. Write this in essay format. It's 2 to 3 pages. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is due by noon on July 5th.